There's a reason why most people never rise to the top. It's not because they're not smart enough. It's not because they weren't born into the right family. It's not because of their zip code, their education, or the economy. The truth is, most people never become the best because they never decide to. They never activate the God-given greatness that is already inside them. They wait, they wish, they wonder. But the best of the best, they move, they believe, they become. Listen, you were not created to be average. You were not made to settle. You were not designed to merely survive. You were crafted by the hand of God to dominate in your lane, to multiply your talents, and to expand His kingdom through your excellence. The best of the best understand that success is not a stroke of luck. It is the inevitable outcome of principle-based living. It is the reward of discipline. It is the fruit of faith paired with focused action. We're not talking about hype. We're not talking about gimmicks. This isn't about looking rich. This is about becoming wealthy in mindset, in impact, in influence, and yes, in income. But real wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your words. It starts in your vision. It starts in your daily decision to become more than you've ever been. Becoming the best of the best begins when you decide to live in alignment with a higher calling. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You stop blaming your past. You stop bowing to fear, and you start building. You start speaking life over your future. You start waking up with fire in your bones and clarity in your spirit. You start investing not just in stocks or crypto, but in yourself, because you understand that your future is your most valuable asset. Let me tell you something right now. You already have everything you need inside you to win. But what you lack is activation. What you need is ignition. So today is not just a message. This is a wake-up call. This is an invitation to the 1%. The remnant, the difference makers, the kings and queens who refuse to bow to average. If you're ready to become the best of the best, not someday, not when it's convenient, but starting now, then lean in. Lock in. This is your blueprint. Your mind is the control center of your destiny. Before you can conquer any battlefield in business, leadership, or life, you must first conquer the one within. Everything starts there. You cannot produce fruit on the outside that you haven't first planted and nurtured on the inside. If your mindset is small, your results will shrink to fit it. If your beliefs are broken, no strategy will fix what your thinking continues to sabotage. Mastering the inner game is not optional, it's the foundation of everything else. Most people are trying to build empires with a poverty mentality. They're trying to step into greatness while carrying mindsets of mediocrity. You cannot attract what you secretly believe you're unworthy of. You can't rise higher than the ceiling you've placed in your own head. The best of the best don't just think positively, they think accurately. They understand that mindset is more than motivation, it is identity. It's the internal operating system through which everything else is filtered. And if that system is corrupted by fear, doubt, shame, or smallness, then even the best opportunities will be filtered out or fumbled. You become what you believe. That's not hype. That's a law. Your beliefs drive your behavior. Your behavior produces your habits. And your habits shape your results. Most people are trying to change fruit without ever digging up the root. They're trying to change results without transforming beliefs. But until you reprogram the way you think, until you upgrade your internal dialogue, you will remain stuck in cycles that frustrate your calling. So how do the best of the best handle this? They get intentional. They don't wait to think powerfully. They train their mind daily. They speak life over themselves. They guard their mental diet. They reject anything that doesn't align with their future. They don't entertain fear. They don't rehearse failure. They meditate on excellence. They declare victory before they ever see results. Because they know that as the mind goes, so goes the life. Here's the truth. You don't need more time, talent, or luck. You need a renewed mind. You need to stop agreeing with limitations that were never part of your design. You need to break agreements with old labels, past wounds, and small thinking, because your future cannot expand beyond your faith. And your faith begins in your mind. This isn't about being arrogant. It's about being aligned. It's about believing what God says about you more than what your past says, what fear says, or what society says. Mastering the inner game is the difference between people who quit at discomfort and people who push through to destiny. When your mind is locked in on truth, focused on purpose, and submitted to power greater than yourself, you become unstoppable. Feelings are fickle. One moment they lift you, the next they betray you. If you live by feelings, you will lead an unpredictable life. You'll be productive when it's easy, consistent when it's comfortable, and committed only when it's convenient. But greatness doesn't operate on feelings. Greatness is built on principles. The best of the best don't move because they feel like it. They move because they've made a decision. Their commitment overrides their mood. Their conviction overrides their circumstance. Operating by principle means you show up even when motivation has left the room. It means you speak truth even when silence feels safer. It means you take action when everything inside you screams for ease. Principles are not emotional. They are immovable. They are the foundation that keeps you steady in the storm. When others fall apart under pressure, the principle-driven stay focused. They keep building. They keep moving forward. They keep growing because they understand that consistency creates momentum, and momentum compounds. You cannot build a legacy on emotion. Emotion has its place. It can fuel the fire, inspire the heart, awaken the dream. But it is not a compass. Feelings are waves. They rise and fall, but principles are the rock. They are the anchor that holds when everything around you is shaking. They are the compass that points true north when confusion clouds your path. People who lead by feelings delay decisions, avoid discipline, and forfeit destiny. They make excuses instead of progress. They allow bad days to become bad weeks, and bad weeks to become wasted seasons. But those who lead by principle know that today's decision is a seed for tomorrow's harvest. They show up not because they feel like champions, but because they've already decided to act like one. They understand that discipline births freedom, that structure creates flow, and that principle is the path to power. Living by principle will cost you comfort. It will demand that you move when you're tired, forgive when you'd rather hate, give when you feel like hoarding, and lead when you'd prefer to hide. But it's that very cost that makes it powerful. It's the refusal to bow to emotion that sharpens your character. It's the daily choice to move with integrity that elevates you above the crowd. The best understand that commitment isn't loud. It's quiet. It's proven in the dark when nobody's clapping. It's proven when no one's watching. And over time, that commitment stacks. Day after day. Choice after choice. Until one day, you look up and realize you've built something that most people only dream of because you didn't wait to feel like it. You decided to become it. The marketplace doesn't reward effort, it rewards value. You can work hard, grind long hours, stay busy all day, but if what you offer doesn't solve a real problem or improve someone's life, your income will always be capped. You don't get paid for your time, you get paid for your contribution. The moment you understand that, everything changes. The best of the best elevate their worth by increasing their skill and multiplying their service. They understand that income is a mirror reflecting the impact they bring. You don't rise by accident. You rise by adding more value than anyone else is willing to bring. That means you study more. You practice more. You sacrifice more. You become obsessed, not with applause, but with mastery. The world doesn't need more people looking for a shortcut. The world needs people who are so excellent, so exceptional, that they become impossible to ignore. When you elevate your skill, you increase your ability to solve problems. And when you solve bigger problems, you earn bigger rewards. But skill alone is not enough. It must be paired with service. Serving is not about being soft. It's about being strategic. The person who serves the most people with the greatest level of excellence will always rise to the top. Service says, I'm not just here to take, I'm here to contribute. I'm not just here to compete, I'm here to create. And when you operate from that heart posture backed by elite-level skill, you become invaluable. The marketplace rewards people who bring clarity to confusion, relief to frustration, results to problems. And that doesn't happen by wishing or waiting. It happens by becoming valuable on purpose. Too many people want top-tier income with entry-level discipline. They want million-dollar impact with minimum-level preparation. But the best understand that every dollar earned is a thank you note from the market, saying, thank you for solving this problem. Thank you for making my life easier. Thank you for being excellent. Your value is not about your title. It's about your transformation. What are you transforming for your clients, your customers, your community? Are you making things faster, simpler, more beautiful, more profitable, more fulfilling? If not, don't expect increase. But if yes, if you are pouring yourself into the elevation of others, then you are walking the path of unstoppable growth. So instead of chasing money, chase value. Instead of begging for opportunity, become the person whose skill and service create opportunity. The best of the best don't just look good. They do good. They bring answers. They bring excellence. They bring something so powerful that the market can't ignore them. Your words are not just sounds. They are seeds. Every time you speak, you are either building something powerful or planting something poisonous. Words create worlds, your world. If you speak from fear, you shape a reality of lack. If you speak from faith, you build a future of abundance. The best of the best don't talk just to be heard. They speak to create, to declare, to move things in the unseen before they manifest in the seen. They understand that power doesn't come from noise. It comes from clarity, authority, and conviction. When you speak with power, you don't just motivate others. You activate yourself. Your voice becomes your weapon. It becomes your tool for construction. You stop rehearsing defeat. You stop repeating excuses. You stop speaking doubt. Instead, you begin to call things that are not as though they were. You begin to shape your environment with declarations that match your destiny, not your current discomfort. You don't describe the mountain, you speak to it. But power in speech means nothing without precision in action. Talking big and moving sloppy will get you nowhere. The best don't just speak boldly. They move intentionally. They understand that success is not just about momentum. It's about direction. They don't waste motion. They don't scatter their energy. They move with purpose. Every step, every decision, every hour is aligned with a larger mission. Precision is not perfection. It's focus. It's being so clear on your outcome that you refuse to be distracted by detours. This is where most people miss it. They say the right things, but their actions contradict their words. They declare abundance but operate from fear. They talk discipline but live in disorder. The best of the best align their language and their lifestyle. They speak with power, then follow through with precision. That's why their results look different. That's why their influence expands. They don't just declare greatness, they demonstrate it. Your words should be a contract with your future. When you say you're going to rise, rise. When you say you're going to build, build. Let your language carry weight. Let your promises hold power. Speak like a leader. Act like a warrior. Let every word you speak move you closer to who you're becoming. And let every action you take confirm that you are serious about your calling. In a world full of noise, the one who speaks with intention stands out. In a world full of chaos, the one who moves with discipline takes ground. This is not about hype. It's about alignment. Let your voice be firm and your steps be calculated. Speak from vision, move with strategy, because the world is not changed by those who talk loud. It's changed by those who live loud with clarity, consistency, and power. Success without purpose is just noise. It might look good, feel good, even pay well, but in the end, it leaves you empty. The best don't just chase money, applause, or recognition. They move with a fire that goes deeper than ambition. They are driven by something eternal, something divine. They live aligned with purpose that comes from above, not pressure that comes from the world. When you operate from divine alignment, your steps are not just productive, they are anointed. Your work becomes worship, your mission becomes clear, and your path becomes unstoppable. Purpose is what separates the successful from the significant. Anyone can grind, anyone can hustle, but when you are aligned with divine purpose, your work carries weight that can't be measured by metrics alone. You wake up with clarity, you operate with courage, you endure discomfort because you know the calling is bigger than the challenge. Comfort becomes irrelevant when purpose is activated. You don't quit when it's hard because you didn't start for comfort. You started out of conviction. The best of the best understand that purpose is not man-made, it's God-ordained. You don't create it, you discover it. And when you find it, you protect it at all costs. You say no to distractions, decline invitations that pull you off course, and walk away from anything that tries to cheapen your calling. Because when you know who you are and what you're called to do, compromise becomes too expensive. Operating in divine alignment means your goals don't just serve you. They serve something greater. Your business becomes a vehicle for impact. Your platform becomes a tool for transformation. You don't just lead to be seen, you lead to serve. You don't just succeed to be praised, you succeed to multiply purpose in others. That's what divine alignment does. It shifts your focus from getting to giving, from self. Glory to God. Glory. And here's what's powerful. When you align with purpose, provision follows. Doors open that no man can shut. Opportunities find you. Favor surrounds you. Because you're not chasing your own plan. You're walking in the one designed for you. The best understand this. True fulfillment doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's eternal. It comes from being in step with the reason you were created. When the storms come, and they will, purpose is your anchor. When the crowd disappears, and it will, purpose keeps you standing. When the results slow down and the recognition fades, purpose reminds you why you started. And that's why the best don't burn out. That's why they don't run in circles. That's why they can move through setbacks with fire still in their eyes. Because they're not here for comfort. They're here for calling. No one becomes the best alone. No matter how talented, driven, or intelligent you are, there is a ceiling you will never break until you humble yourself and submit to mentorship and mastery. Growth is not a mystery, it's a formula. And one of the most powerful accelerators of that growth is alignment with the right guide and a commitment to relentless refinement. The best of the best understand that they don't have time to make every mistake themselves. They learn from those who have already conquered the terrain. They sit at the feet of wisdom, not out of weakness, but out of strategy. Mentorship shortens the learning curve. It collapses time. The right mentor won't just give you answers. They'll give you perspective. They'll expose your blind spots, correct your missteps, and pull you into rooms your gifts alone couldn't get you into. They carry keys you need for your next level. And when you honor that connection, you don't just receive information. You receive impartation. Their ceiling becomes your floor. Their battles become your blueprint. Their victories become your starting point. But mentorship alone isn't enough. It must be married to mastery. Mentorship is access. Mastery is what you do with it. The best don't just listen to wisdom. They apply it. They refine their skills, sharpen their habits, and polish their performance day after day. They are not casual about growth, they are obsessed with it. They don't just want to be good, they want to be unforgettable. And that requires discipline, feedback, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Mastery isn't about perfection. It's about progression. It's the daily decision to get 1% better, to refine the edge, to sharpen the gift, to show up again and again when no one is watching. The world crowns those who finish strong, but that strength is built in the secret place in the hours of practice, in the humility of correction, in the grit of doing it over until it's right. The best don't grow when it's easy. They grow when it's uncomfortable, and they welcome that discomfort because they know greatness is forged, not found. The right mentor multiplies your momentum. The right mindset multiplies your mastery. Together, they create an unstoppable force. This is why some people stay stuck for years, while others rise in months, because one found a mentor and got to work, while the other tried to figure it all out on their own. Independence might feel powerful, but it's often pride disguised as productivity. True leaders seek guidance. True greatness is never a solo project. Now that you've heard it all, let me leave you with this. The best of the best are not born, they are built. They are forged in fire, refined through resistance, and anchored in something deeper than desire. They don't rely on feelings, circumstances, or luck. They live with intention, they grow with purpose, and they move with precision. The difference between average and extraordinary is not talent. It's alignment, discipline, and a relentless decision to rise no matter what. They start with the inner game, mastering their thoughts before trying to master results. Because they understand that all transformation begins in the mind. They silence the voice of limitation, kill the seed of doubt, and declare victory even when the scoreboard says otherwise. Their mindset isn't built on hype. It's built on truth. It's not driven by comfort, it's driven by calling. Then they rise above emotion and operate by principle. They don't wait to feel like it. They show up because they've made a decision. Their commitment doesn't waver based on mood. They execute because it's who they are, not just what they feel like doing. That's what gives them staying power when others fade out. They multiply their value, not by chasing money, but by developing skill and leading through service. They know that the marketplace pays based on the problems you solve and the lives you elevate. So they become obsessed with being excellent, with delivering transformation, not just transactions. And because they serve at a higher level, they earn at a higher level. They speak like leaders and act like warriors. Their words shape reality and their actions carve results. They don't just talk success, they embody it. There's no separation between what they say and how they live. Their voice carries power because it's backed by integrity. Their movements are precise because their goals are clear. And through it all, they remain aligned with divine purpose. They don't drift in pursuit of applause. They don't trade calling for comfort. They are anchored in something eternal, something bigger than themselves. And because of that, their success is not fragile, it's fortified. Their results are not fleeting. They're rooted in something that can't be shaken. Finally, they never stop growing. They submit to mentorship. They invest in mastery. They understand that elevation requires guidance, that acceleration comes through submission to wisdom and a non-negotiable standard of excellence. Their ego doesn't get in the way of their evolution. They rise because they are humble enough to learn and hungry enough to never stop refining. So if you're serious about becoming the best of the best, then today is not the time for casual interest. It's time for radical commitment. Time to think higher, speak bolder, serve deeper, act sharper, align stronger, and grow faster. The blueprint is here. The path is clear. The only question left is, will you walk it? Because the best isn't for the lucky. It's for the ready. Let the world see what happens when purpose, power, and precision collide in a life that refuses to settle.